In 1971, in Waikiki, with a beautiful Korean-American young woman named Cho, a handsome young army man named Patrick with red-brown hair, a beautiful young Chinese woman named Alice, and a beautiful British blonde named Laura.
Here you go, Cho.
I've just made up a crazy time travel story in my head, and I'd like to try to tell it now. It's not anything spectacular, but it just seemed to come to me. I know not where from, but perhaps it came from the future. It's nothing, really.
We're ready, even for any meandering streams.
I had liked our brief visit to the Big Island, so I boarded a flight to Hilo, Hawaii. Taking a ferry would have been long and slow, although delightful in its own way, but I was saving that for another time. Molokai, Maui, and Lanai passed beneath, off to the left. I even somehow have pictures of some of my fantasy journey. Thoughts of essence pale away within the brightness of living, just as they ought to. The light of the candle being more useful than why the wick burns, one's felt state of being much closer to us than the states beneath that make it up. The adventures in a new land eclipsing the reasons that the place formed from lava mountains. I took out a map of southern Hawaii. There it was, South Point and its beach. The last southern landfall before Antarctica. Ah, here is the 12-mile dirt road on the map off Highway 11. Palm branches were waving just overhead as I spun up dust on the trail that was called a road. In the winter, many arrived in this cheaper part of the archipelago from the northern hemisphere, with a lot from Canada, a really cold place, and some even from hot places like India, and in the summer from the southern hemisphere. It was ever like the United Nations on an outing. I drove up a mountain toward its end, and we could see the ocean from there. This is where Patrick's friend Joe lives, far off in the future. I was going to spy on them both from afar and then approach them later. I walked to the bushes on the side of the beach. The people of interest were sitting at a table way across the beach in the shade of a nook with laptop computers, and Patrick was rolling cigarettes and selling them. It was windy, so he was just taking a pinch out of the green bag at a time. Some would pay and leave right away, but some would linger and engage, and so they would get their cigarette for free, and some would remain for quite a while, probably negotiating a way to stay under their wing when their hotel time was up. Just can't trust those girls, I surmised. That must be Joe next to Patrick, and I can read his lips with my glass, and oh, it's funny. Joe's saying I'm an old man, and soon to be a married man on St. Patrick's Day. Well, so the girls are hitting on them, as would be expected, but they both look spry. I approached Patrick, smiling, and he spoke, and then offered, "Cigarettes, 50 cents? The going rate, but they have full flavor and they are long and hand-rolled. Free if you stay a while and talk." I took one, relating, "Hand-rolled by your machine, now put away as cranked really, Rio menthol pipe tobacco, $16 a bag, put in a slot, with a little door that closes over, so as to have just the right amount, a little metal half-cylinder going out into paper tube."
How did you know? You didn't even light it up yet.
"I spied on you from those bushes way over there, from the past. I'm here in my future, from way back."
Good, I like that, for you are prepared for this time.
I lit up, inhaling deeply, remarking, "Helps concentration such as for figuring out reality clear and dear, the most often wondered question on Earth's sphere."
I am an old man who is still very young at heart, both for love and for philosophy.
"And I am the one you seek. I am the seer, the oracle, the sage answering your SOS.
Patrick nearly fell off his chair, and then did as a joke, and then got up and gave me a hug, Joe adding a jug.
I was thirsty and drank a long gulp, saying, "Yes, I came all the way here following your meta-interests."
You are indeed Sherlock's younger sister.
And indeed a detective.
And I could hardly even get anyone interested.
We think alike. In fact, we are the same, both extrovert and introvert, sensing and intuitive, thinking and feeling, spontaneous and orderly, though INFP-based. Patrick didn't tell Joe that he'd known me all his life. That's the end of the tale. I've glimpsed some kind of a future from somewhere in the deserts of times.